I am currently trying to fix the bot for this stream right now, and I don't think it's working. Oh wait, now I think it is. Maybe I just had to start streaming for it to work? Can someone try a command? Like exclamation point mic or exclamation point headphones? Something like that. That would be great. The headphones are not actually correct even, but that's fine. I'll fix it. Yay! Hooray! Okay, it worked. Those are not the headphones that I'm using, but I don't care. I can fix that later. You did exclamation point moose? Let me fix it. Now try doing that one. Let's see if it works again if you do it again. Huh? Nice. Killing it. Okay. I'll take it. How's it going, everybody? I remembered that the commands weren't working really late. It was just I realized it maybe 30 seconds before the stream started, so I'm glad that it works. We're doing it live. We figured it out. Hello, welcome to the internet. Come with me, console cowboys in cyberspace. Let's go. What's moose with you? Everything and nothing. Hot buggin'? Are y'all working on anything fun? I've been just like, I've had such a week of, without divulging too much, I've had a very political week at work, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not talking about like world politics, I'm talking about like company politics. Once again, trying not to divulge, but I'm exhausted. It has been so many conversations with so many people. Good conversations, but I'm tired. One second, I have to mute some of my notifications, that way you don't hear Slack. Blah blah blah, go away. Do 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 do. Meow. Okay, that's done. What a day, what a time. The only thing that's more draining than PR review, governance. I had issues this week with expired SSL certificates. Oh no. Quite the experience is such a nice way of putting that. I'm glad you've made it through. One of the things that I've been working on, like in between everything, and now that I've like gotten I've gotten a lot of things done this week. Now I can work on fun stuff. The GitHub game off is now. And for those who don't know what it is, let me pull it up. My team is working on a game, but I said that I would like get it started, and I would just wildly swamped. But this is the game off, and the theme announcement is waves. It's a hackathon for just the month of November to create a game, and I nerd sniped someone on the design team at GitHub, and I forgot about this song. This is kind of a bop, but anyway, sorry. I nerd sniped a designer to make some pixel art for me, and I'm very hyped. And so I'm going to make some maps for the game. End of year cert rotation. Yeah, I know. Seriously. The song is just a little loud. I'm gonna lower it a tiny bit. Let me know if it's not loud enough. Nika, hey. You blurped an algo question? Oh no, I'm sorry. What was the algo, if you don't mind my asking, Charlie? Oh yes, for those who don't know what nerd sniping is, it's when you snipe someone and they fall to the ground. But no, it's when you Joe or Jose, hello. It's when you start to get someone so excited about a specific problem or task that they end up being just fully, they are sniped, they are caught in said task. So the task that I got the designer to work on for me on accident. I was fully about to do the task myself. I got a bunch of free pixel art. For those who haven't seen Kenny.nl, they make a ton of amazing game assets completely for free. It's awesome. So they just, I've made games with their assets before. There's a bunch of really nice ones, 3D, 2D, yada, yada, yada. And for my team's game, oh, I haven't actually seen this one. That's cute. For my team's game, I wanted to get, I was trying to make Mona, the GitHub mascot, in this style to match the map so that we could make a game that like used that style. Long story short, the designer made the Mona for me and it's really cute. Let me pull it up actually. Cause it's adorbs, but I gotta pull up the pixel art. So I have to make maps for our game. And once we do that, then everybody can kind of take on their tasks. New to this platform and to this stream, hello, welcome. You follow me on Twitter? I refuse to call it X. I admit I don't use Twitter that much anymore, but at work they've been asking me to use it more just because I used to use it more and I don't. Anyway, really quick, look at that. How cute is that for like a walk cycle? Isn't that adorable? And so I combined some of the Kenny assets into one big sprite sheet, but look at that. But anyway, yeah, I'm not using Twitter that much anymore. I'm leaning more towards Blue Sky, but I still like cross post and stuff on occasion. But anyway, welcome. But yeah, look at this little Mona. And so I have to make some maps with this. I'm sure there are people in this chat who are significantly better game developers than I am. I am not, I shouldn't even say, it's not even that I'm not good, I'm just not experienced. I've made a game before. I've made a handful, but rarely with like game engines. And so now that I have all of these assets, I can make a map and then I can use that map to make levels and stuff. And so did any of you play Spelling Jungle way back in the day? I will pull up Spelling Jungle. Let me look up Spelling Jungle. I'm gonna mute this tab. Spelling Jungle was you like, let's see, let me pull it up. You had to, hang on, I was teaching you different letters. The man tells you what letters to get, so in this case it was practice, and then once you get all the letters for the word practice, you're allowed to cross the river. Good times. This was a game I loved playing as a kid, and so, oh, so you give the hippo an apple. I forget how to play this game. Anyway, you have to get the letters in order and stuff. I'm going to make like a mini kind of Spelling Jungle, but with like GitHubby words for the GitHub game off. Rebase trail. Am I a DevOps engineer? I am not. I am mostly a web developer. I've done software engineering at different scales. Like I've done backend, like Python backend Node, but web is my sweet spot. Anyway, I want to make a game like this, but with GitHubby stuff. And so I was going to use Phaser, the game engine for it. Phaser never thinks I'm a human. And I have to make some maps for it first. And so I like using tiled to make maps purely because I've done it before. I don't really have any actual major preferences for anything, but new map. I don't even remember how to do this. Let's see, how big should the map be? You tell me. Let's see, if it's gonna be 16 pixel art, and I want the map to be, I could say like 800-ish. Let me pull out a calculator. Sorry, one second. Let me do some 16 times maybe like 45. 16 times 45, 720. 16 by 9. Yeah, then that would work. Yeah, I could do 1080 by 720. Yeah, that's a huge game, isn't it? I don't remember. 1080 divided by 16 is 6. Yeah, that might be too big. But if I did 720 across, I could do it a square. Yeah, I don't want it to be like absurdly big. As a software engineer with years of experience, what do you see vibe coding doing to junior SWEs? Any suggestion on what to focus for practices? 720 by 480? Sold. Oh wait, how many tiles is that? Hang on. That's 45 by, what was it, 480? Oh, I did times and not divide. 30, got it. 45 by 30 tiles, let's go. So to answer your question, yes. I think that junior developers, it's good to, or not even junior, just people who are learning how to do things. It's good to learn those AI tools, but it's also good to not rely on them too much. Try to figure out how to use them as learning tools. And there's different ways to do that. Where like, when you have questions about something, before going straight to GitHub Copilot, a ChatGPT, a Perplexity, a Claude, whatever, try to solve it yourself a little bit first. Give yourself a few minutes before going straight to the asking a question, because I do think it's good to ask questions. You don't want to be stuck on a problem for like 45 minutes and just get nowhere. But there's value in that thinking and solving through it yourself. And like talking through it, whether you're talking through it with a person or with a rubber duck or something. Figuring things out for yourself, I feel like, is a key skill that I see going away that isn't necessarily, I feel like that's the thing that's going away. Less about the technical skills, because I do think people can still gain technical skills and use AI, but you need to be able to figure things out on your own. And that impatience with figuring things out is the skill that I'm worried about people losing. Can I ask a question sort of coming out of nowhere? For your newsletter, what factors led you to choose button down? I've been writing my newsletter for a very long time. So that is a big factor there, because there weren't a lot of options back then. When I first made my newsletter, I was using TinyLetter. TinyLetter was bought by MailChimp. TinyLetter is cool and I like it, but when you got to 5,000 subscribers, you had to convert to MailChimp, and I didn't want to use MailChimp. And so when I was getting close to 5,000, I was like, ooh, I gotta switch. And there was button down. And that was the option that I knew of. And the guy who makes it, he now has a team, but the founder is Justin Duke. And at the time, it was like his side project while he worked at Stripe. Now he's working on it full time. He was really, really responsive to questions I had and pretty much everything you could ask for when you're trying to figure out a new tool. And it let me use Markdown, and I really like writing Markdown for my newsletter. And so that is the major factor why I chose button down. I wanted to be able to port my archive over. I wanted to write Markdown. And now I still like it, and it's great. There are other tools that I do like too, like Beehive and Hashnode, but button down gets the work done. And so it's one of those, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've looked into switching in the past purely out of curiosity, but none of the tools give me that much of an advantage over button down that I would consider switching. Plus, the button down CLI is just like the Git CLI, and it's amazing. Like, you can pull your posts, edit things, and then push them again. It's so nice. I was fiddling with data inputs today. Guess whose blog post I found? Was it mine? I'm sorry if it was. My fear is that using AI as a tool to help solve problems versus doing them for me is a very fine line. Yeah. And I think, like, once again, try not to just lean on it. Try to actually figure things out. It's a good thing to figure things out on occasion. Like, one of the things that I do when I'm trying to figure out a web problem is I'll go to CodePen, and I love CodePen. It is such a great tool. And yet there have been times where I've gone there and I'm just like, oh wait, I have to write this myself. I can't just like tab complete with Copilot or something. But it's also a good thing because it kind of keeps my memory working. Yeah, anyway, I like it. Also, I need to update my tile mapping software, so I'm gonna do that. I already bought it, but I feel guilty not buying things. Okay, I'm not going to update it right now. Let me just, one thing at a time, Cassidy. New tile set based on an image. Source. Now that I got my tiles, Balamo. I'm just gonna call it sprites. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. I don't know what I'm doing once again, so please forgive me while I'm figuring this out. And then occasionally answering your questions. Cool, thanks. Having a CLI sounds like a good thing for a newsletter platform. I know, it's like kind of overkill, but it's amazing. It's amazing. It was your blog post on date input icons. Nice, yeah. Is there a cool way to pull in button-down newsletters into a Git repo? Yes. You could literally do like button-down pull. It creates a folder unless a folder's already there, and then you could just git init in that folder and then make that into a Git repo. I admit I was considering, and I've like have it partially implemented, but I'm not 100% happy with it yet, so I'm not going to show you, but I wanted to add to my blog, let me just pull it up. I wanted to add to my blog some like checkbox or something. I don't really like how this page is set up right now, but one thing at a time. I was going to add a checkbox or something where when you click the checkbox, my newsletter ends up being embedded in between the blog posts. Because there are some times where I blog a lot and sometimes where I don't blog at all. And so it kind of populate this page more, but then people could kind of see the archive of it. It feels somewhat awkward because then I could also just make a newsletter archive page and like merge it. I haven't really figured out the user experience here, but yeah, it's you can do that, and you can do like button down pull and it pulls everything, and then I could commit it to a repo. They have webhooks too, and so you could do that as well. Cassidy, where were you? I had a baby. I had two babies actually, where I didn't stream for a while because the first baby was a lot, and then I had another one, and then I was like, ew. But then I got permission to stream during work hours, so here I am. Kind of vulnerable question because the algo thing earlier has me feeling this way. Is there any value in learning some of these SaaS abstractions when trying to apply to jobs, or should candidates be focused on lower level language feature stuff? You know, oh, thanks for all the congrats, everybody. Yeah, I like my babies. They're cute. I will not be showing them. They're taking naps, but I like them. I think it's very good to know the lower level language stuff, but interviewing is changing just a little bit, that it's kind of an it depends question who you're interviewing with, where the smaller orgs and increasingly larger ones are doing more practical questions, where it's just like, how will you problem solve this thing? And a lot of them will be just like, you can use AI because we know you'll probably use it on the job. Some companies that are very against AI usage will be just like, no AI allowed. We are watching you do the algorithm. So you really just, unfortunately, have to kind of tailor your interviews experiences to the different companies. I know, like, for example, at GitHub, they expect you to implement something that is not algorithmy, but code-y, where like, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about actual questions that teams ask, but I know that one of them is to implement a certain kind of API. And so it'll say like, the question starts with like, okay, what, and this is for like roles, not just backend, but front end too. It'll say like, okay, which endpoints will be puts, pulls, posts, or not pulls, posts, puts, gets, etc. And then from there, they'll have you actually implement some of the functions that will be captured by that API. And then you could say like, and this is how I would use it, blah, blah, blah. That is a thing. Rebase me this branch. That's 100,000 commits fine. That's funny. Hello again, Surly Dev. But That's not all companies. I know that like the Googles of the world are still doing algorithms-based questions. Right, so architecture versus remembering the intricacies of print. Exactly. It really depends on the company, which is not helpful to you. But maybe it is helpful to know that it's unfortunately all of the above. It depends. Eh. You love the look and feel of my blog. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm struggling to answer this question because it is hard right now to interview. I think so many people are using AI to spam job listings now that it's hard to hire as well. Where every single manager I've talked to, I'm just like, hey, just referring this person I used to work with or something like that. They're like, oh, thank you. I can't tell who's real. Like, so many people are doing fake applications that it makes it harder for hiring managers, and it makes it harder for the people who are actually trying. It's rough. Do you think that scripting and programming is becoming commoditized? I wrote a blog post that I haven't published yet. Excuse me. I think that it is still a valuable skill to have. And I think that you still need to be able to do it to an extent in software engineering. It's getting easier. You can offload a lot of those tasks. But something I talked about on the GitHub stream earlier today is that, like, because there's a quote from an old 1979 manual from IBM where it's like, because a computer can't be held accountable, it should never be allowed to make management decisions. And it's kind of similar. Maybe I should just publish my blog. Anyway, you still ultimately as a human have an ownership over the code written. Where, like, there's a lot of scripts now that you can just pull, whether you're pulling it from Stack Overflow, from GitHub, from an LLM, that will get a task done for you, but you still ultimately are accountable for it if you are the one that put it into a code base and use it. Yeah. We stopped doing technical written interviews. We make them pop a Scala jar or dry open and see how they think. Oh, I like that. That's good. I've also seen some companies, they just do pseudocode where it's like, the syntax doesn't matter. Just tell us how you would, like, think through a function. A lot is changing. I feel like we're in a very transition-y period now where, like, the pendulum has been swinging in different directions. Current interviews are still weird. They still send you to HackerRank. Really? I remember I was sent to HackerRank a lot a few years ago, but I haven't been doing that one since. But also, for what it's worth, I've been coding for a long time, so I might just be, like, old. I feel like we just spent the last 20 years teaching everyone how to write syntax and shoveling money into their accounts, and now that we've reached critical mass, it's all just writing itself. Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see how things shift ultimately. Like what is engineering going to look like in, like, 2 years? I think a lot will be the same, but a lot will be different. And again, there's the ownership thing, and yeah. Maybe I should just write that blog post. Not right now, Cassidy. I was going to make a map for a game. Focus. So I got my pixel art here. This is tiled. Tiled is great because it basically lets you just paint your maps. And I, once again, don't really know what I'm doing, but you can do blah, 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 blah. There's got to be a better way to do this. Shape fill. Nice. Green. So that's grass. But you can also, like, stamp, and so I could make some of the grass more fuzzy. Let me make this bigger. Some of the grass more fuzzy, yada, yada, yada. I'm gonna add some more here and there. Blah, 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 blah. Don't want it to just be in the middle. Once again, I'm not a game dev. There's probably an artist weeping out there somewhere, but oh, you know, the flowers shouldn't do that. I'm gonna stamp them a little bit more sporadically. So my goal is that I'm going to, what did I just do? Why is it 3? Oh no. Okay, it's back. Anyway, my goal is to make it so that way, like, once I have some basic maps done, my teammates can jump in and use said maps. So I think I'm gonna... Also, I'm sorry if you hear my baby crying. He just woke up from a nap. It's fine. Thanks for helping us touch grass today. There's no ultimate and it'll always keep transforming. That's true. That's true. But I do think that, like, there's always a moment where things settle a little bit before they change again. I think the settling part will be interesting. Like, the new baseline will be set. Where there was a point where there was a new web framework every minute, it felt like. Like, there was just constant new web frameworks coming out. Now things have settled a little bit. React is king still, but Angular's still doing well. Vue is still doing well. Svelte has a contingent. There's frameworks being built on top of frameworks, you know? And so, yeah. Baby is the game dev that is weeping. Yeah, that's fair. Poor baby. Anyway, let me do this. We're gonna have a river. Bow. This just feels like nice chill painting. No, my cursor. One second. I'm going to make sure that my husband can hear the baby. Just in case. Okay, anyway. Make Bob Ross proud. I will. Okay, we're back in business. Okay. Then I'm going to have this. La 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 la. And then cute. Oh wait, not that one. Wait, what am I doing? I need this one. No, I need the grass to be in the bottom right-hand corner. Blam. Blam? Bloom? Sorry, I can't really see the pixel art. It's so small. Normally I would zoom in even more, but I'm just trying to get some stuff done here. Let me just get this first. No, wait, that's the wrong side, Cassidy. What are you thinking? Oh my word. Okay. La 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 la. And then I need the dot that is here. No, sorry, brain. Whenever I do this, there we go. Okay. Phew, phew. Okay. All right. So now I have a general river. So the game we're calling it Code Wave. Where you have to cross water with letters. And so I'm going to have a bunch of different letters on the screen that spell out different things, but that'll be a different layer right now. Right now I'm just getting like the basic map stuff done. We'll have a little tree. Oh wait, I can't put the tree on there. This has to be the floor. I'll do another thing there. Is there any other terrain I should add? It looks like there's waterfalls. Oh, that's cute. That's nice. Look at that. Maybe I'll have the waterfall over here. Yeah, that's fun. I'll just make it come from the edge. It's just kind of like a fun little extra thing. Oh, not that one. There we go. Cute. Okay, anyway. That grass. Cute. That makes it look like it has depth. Okay, and now I need another layer. And I don't remember how to do that, but never fear. I'll figure it out. I'm hopeful that AI will eventually allow code to be written more efficiently, less energy, less latency, more productivity. Code bases long forgotten will get new life because someone paid $100 to let an agent run on it for 24 hours. Yeah. No, and so like a good example of this, I forget if I talked about this last week, but there was a point where I went on a small vacation with my family, and it was the one time I didn't bring my laptop on vacation. I always bring a computer because I don't know how to disconnect. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this time. I'm going to actually go without a laptop. My husband didn't bring a laptop. We were just going to be present. And then, of course, one of my teammates on one of my side projects messages me like in the middle of the vacation, is like, hey, we really need the website to be updated. And they like meant to send me the updates earlier and they hadn't. And I wasn't mad. It was just like one of those things where they didn't get all of the assets I needed in time and stuff. And so I was like, oh no, I need to update the website, but I don't have my computer. I had an iPad that had some videos on it for my kids for the airplane. And then I realized, wait a minute, but I have AI. And so I like wrote a super detailed issue of what I wanted to get done. And then I assigned GitHub Copilot the issue and let it work. Hey Joni, we are building a game for the GitHub Game Off. And this is like the base level map that I just started. But anyway, I needed to get that project done. I made the issue, assigned it to the agent, and it worked. It didn't work perfectly. The code made me mad a little bit because there were a few things where I was like, come on, why'd you write it that way? And like, you're reinventing the wheel when I have these components that I said you could use. And so there are a few things where I had to go into the browser-based editor on an iPad and literally just be like, okay, I gotta fix this, to make it work. But it did get me like 70% of the way there. And then I was able to like add in the components I needed, fix some of the data, hard code some other things. And then when I got home, I was able to be like, okay, let me clean this up. It got the job done. And for stuff like that, I think that was where I was just like, okay, I may have my qualms about using agents to replace certain work, but it was really, really nice to get some of it done. Did I have to speak aggressively at the AI? Only when it messed up. There were a few times where I was just like, stop trying to rewrite this. The components are right there. I told you which parts of the code base to look at, but it was just, it's a bot. Like it can only do so much. And I like to think of it as like, it's just something that needs a little bit of hand holding sometimes, where again, with any teammate or with any sort of task, there's always going to be a point where someone doesn't fully understand a prompt or something, but you work with the person, they get it done. You work with the LLM, you get it done. But the difference is, once again, like I mentioned before, the LLM can't take ownership. So, have I tried anti-gravity? I haven't. For those who don't know, it's not about floating. It's about, it's the new Google IDE. I haven't tried it yet. It looks neat. It's very wind surfy, but yeah. The project that we're working on is a game for the GitHub Game Off. And so I have, this map is kind of big. I might make it a little, no, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so now I need to add a new layer. It's going to be an object layer, I think. Yeah. Okay. Am I on the right layer? This is where I just don't know this, okay, I am on the object layer. I'm like learning this UI a little bit. Do you have an FAQ about this project? Not yet. I'm not making Pokemon. I'm making a game like Spelling Jungle, which is an old game back in the day. But this one is you have to collect certain letters. Wait, okay, with an object layer, how do I do this? Select objects. And then can I just put it on there? I don't know how this works. I need to look at a tutorial. You collect words to be able to spell a word, and then after you spell the word, like you go to the next level. And so I have, I'm going to be working on this with my team, and I'm just making the maps for it right now. Anti-gravity is very beta. There you go. Yeah, I haven't tried it yet. Okay. Is it not an object layer that I need? Maybe... Okay, this is... Okay, you know what? Why struggle when I can look this up? Tiled map editor. This one. I just need to remember how all of this works. Object layers. Annotate the level. Place things freely. Yada yada yada. So I don't want to... You know what I should do? I should open the map that I made for one of my other games and see how I did that. It has been a minute. I haven't actually made a map for a game in... When did I do this? 2 years. September 2023. That's how long it's been. So I was just kind of following my heart. Okay, I'm opening this in tiled. Oh my word, why is it doing this? There's tiled. Did I like? Oh, it's opening over here. Yes. Okay, wait. It did. Okay, but that isn't the map. That is just the tile set I used. Sorry, this is not very interesting. I'm trying to figure out why it's not working. I don't know what I'm doing. You know what? This is what documentation is for. It's fine. Documentation. Blammo. Tiled user manual. Thank you. Gabor, thank you so much for the sub. By the way, because I always forget to say it, if you are a Prime sub, a gift sub, or a regular sub, you can access our Discord channel. It's a lovely place, lovely people. We talk about tech, we talk about other things. It was free via Amazon Prime. Hey. Yeah, you can do that. Or you could do it via Patreon. It is not a money-making endeavor. It is purely to keep out the spammers. So thank you. Welcome. Hype train! Yeah! Yes, I use the evil because I'm a materialist and free shipping and video is convenient. Same. I get it. Okay. Let's see. I wanted layer types. This is what I want to know. Efficient way of storing tile data. Object layers. Okay. They can store different information. Maybe I don't want to use a tile layer. For most map types, objects are placed in plain pixels. I don't think I need an image layer. Yeah, no, this is for a single image. Let me see. Tile layers are a large area of tile data. The only extra flipped horizontally and diagonally. Collision information can be conveyed through a special tile set. Okay, so I think I can just use the one layer type. If anybody knows how to use tiled, seems to be a JavaScript animation either. It is not. It is a map generation software that is open source. It's a way to make tile maps. Oh yeah, the dad walking. It's a way to make tile maps with assets. Yeah. Danny Helco, did I say thank you? I forgot if I did, but anyway, thank you for the sub. But hey, yes, I started streaming again. Yeah, this is week number 3. I won't be streaming next week because it's Thanksgiving, but I will be streaming perpetually. But anyway, it's a very cool software, but I'm a noob. I made my game 13 Potions with it a while ago, and for those who haven't seen 13 Potions, 13 Potions, I wrote a blog post on it. I'm gonna put this here. But anyway, this is the game, and so you can run around on this, yada yada yada, to do that. But without playing the game, I made the entire map in tiled, and this is ultimately what it looked like, where I had all of the different potions in here. I drew out the entire map, and then like had a camera follow the player the entire time. And that's generally what I want to do with this game as well. Factor IRL, thank you so much for the raid. So anyway, this is my Neil Online. You asked the question. This is my second phaser project. This one that I'm talking about right now was my first phaser project, but I did it 2 years ago, and it's been a long time since. And so, yes, thank you again for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm trying to make a new map for this new game, and I'm trying to remember how things worked. And so it looks like for the ground and for the walls, I did regular map layers, and for enemies and things, I did object layers, which is helpful. This screenshot. Thank you, Past Cassidy. Okay. So now that I know that, and I go back to here, I actually want to change this river thing that I did. Which is annoying, but that's okay. Because with that being the case, I want the water to technically be walls. Like you can't collide. Or if you do collide with it, I want it so that way you can't cross a river or something unless you have a bridge or something. Yeah. So it's just gonna be grass. This will be it. I'll add some like paths here and there. Maybe I'll do something interesting with that, but you know what? I don't like that. I'll do something with that later. Okay, so I need a new layer then for walls. New tile layer, and that's where I will do a river of sorts. Don't go chasing waterfalls. I'll do a cutesy little thing here just to kind of make it look fun. And then I'm gonna do a little bit of this and this to make it thicker. Oh, and I'm just realizing like some of these look different than others. That one is more rivery. I don't want it to be a river. I want it to be, well, no, I do want a river. It's fine. Focus, Cassidy, one thing at a time. Okay. I'm doing that, and then I'm doing that. I'm gonna do it this way, actually. Here. Oh no. It's not perfect. Please don't yell at me. Yeah, I like it enough to use it again. Yeah, no, it was actually really easy to work with, relatively speaking. I've tried other game engines before, and it did not go that well. And so I was happy enough with it that I want to try it again. Oh my word. Okay. This is not the tile that I want. I want this. And then I want water. Oh wait, not that kind of water. This one. That one. Okay, great. Oh, and then I want to do this. Okay, cool. So now these are like walls where when a user, if I were to make one of the layers invisible, which I don't know how to do, but that's okay as I figure things out. The UI is also just different enough that I remember. No, you know what? It might be exactly the same. It's been 2 years. Anyway, this is good. And actually now I can make it so you don't run into trees. So let me just like put some little bushes around here. We'll put some things in the grass. Some mushrooms. It's kind of cute. I like making maps like this. Like, it's not that big a deal, but it's just kind of fun to add stuff like this. Oh yeah, look, a beehive. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Little tree, little tree. Tree, 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 little tree. And then I did that little tree, I did that little tree. I didn't do this one. It looks like a lot of objects just strewn about, but it'll matter when a user is like bumping into them and everything. Yes. Oh, Zach. Hey. Yes, I'm making a game like Spelling Jungle, if you remember it, but it's going to be like code words, and you have to cross the river to get to the end. We're going for it. Oh, here's some rocks. That's good enough, right? Oh, and I need to probably add a finish line, but that I should probably do on another layer, right? Because then if like a user has the letters, the concept is I think the user will find the letters randomly on this side, and then they'll come cross the river once they have them, and then bring it to the finish line, and then that will bring them to the next level. Is this a free asset pack? It is, and so I got it from Kenny. It's KENNEY.NL is the website. But I did combine some of his asset packs. I really, really like what they make because everything is free and decent, and they kind of follow a certain style guide. And so I went to the 2D pixel art ones. They have some non-pixel arty ones, but like this is one of them. You can probably recognize some of the trees that I just put in there. I really like their assets. It's really nice. But I did modify it a little bit, and something that I don't think you can see super clearly, but I will pull up again. Let me get the 1 second. Let me pull up the image. I got one of the designers at work to make a little octocat for me, a little Mona octocat. Let me pull it up. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing, so you can't see what I'm doing. So this one, if I zoom in, this is the pixel art pack that I'm using, but look at the little octocat down here. It will look better soon, I promise. This is like not letting me zoom in the way I want to, but that's fine. Anyway, it's gonna be cute. I have a designer. I mean, I just used one of the GitHub designers. I nerd sniped him. I didn't have distracted him from his work. I acknowledge that. But I had messaged him because I saw that he had made pixel art before. And I was just like, hey, do you have any 16 by 16 Monas? Mona is the name of the octocat, in case you didn't know. And he was just like, oh, I have 24 by 24. I have 18 by 18, but I don't have 16 by 16. And I was like, it's okay. I'll figure something out. And I like took some of the old ones that I could find and was trying to make it myself. It was not looking cute. He said, wait, this is fun. Can I just do this? And I said, please. He said, I have work to do, but this is more fun. And then made us a nice pixel art pack. So I added it to the existing tiles so that way that could be our little player. It'll be fun. You've probably mentioned this before in other streams, but how many games or apps are you inspired to make for your kiddos? All the time. Yeah, kind of hoping parent life jumpstarts some new creativity in me. I want to make stuff for them constantly. And especially too, I don't know if for those who don't have kids, the world of games for kids is not that good. There's some nice ones. Like I tried Lingo Kids. Lingo Kids was really nice. I liked Khan Academy Kids. But so many of them are just riddled with like pop-ups and adware and things where I'm just like, oh, I don't want that for my child. And I don't want to have to explain it. And also, my toddler's 2. She doesn't know what things are. I just want her to like learn letters if she's going to be on a screen at all. Like we don't do a lot of like iPad time or anything, but if we're on an airplane and it's a flight that is long, sometimes you have a little screen to help you out. Anyway, I want to make so many games for my children. I want to make so many. But yeah, anyway, I've made a few different things for them, physical and digital, but I want to make more games for kids. I think it'd be so fun, but one thing at a time. Especially because like they don't know what arrows are. You don't remember the fact that you have to teach someone what things are, like arrows. And so I can't like do something where it's just like, oh, you just like press the arrow buttons. No, it has to be like very explicit, pointing at letters, numbers, and keeping it very, very basic. There are no like dodging enemies. It's just like try again until they figure it out, you know? Anyway, please make things for children. Yeah, Phaser is good. Phaser is good. Gotta go. It's sleepy time in Amsterdam. Oh, welcome from Amsterdam. That's amazing. Yeah, sleep well. Cass, as a software engineer, having another hobby that is digital isn't harmful for our health. It might be. I still like it, so I think as long as you don't get stress from it, why not? Neil, thank you so much for the sub. Are there not games like Math Rabbit anymore? There's a lot of different games, and I also, like, at a garage sale, I found a Leap Pad that had some math games and stuff. But for really little kids, there's not a lot of options. There just aren't, because a lot of them expect you to be able to, like, swipe or, like, zoom in and out or know what arrows are and stuff or something. when a baby's older, that 3 and 4 will unlock so many possibilities. And once again, it's not like your kid should be looking at screens very much anyway. But that has been a real struggle. I'm going to draft off of that energy because I feel like there's a future calling here. I know. Yeah. I really, really do think that there's a market that is slightly tapped, but relatively untapped for kids' games. Okay, anyway. Now I have some obstacles. I want to do another map of... Let's see, what did I want to do here? I want to figure out what should it look like when someone crosses the river. That's what I'm noodling on right now. Maybe there's like a dedicated spot where someone crosses the river, because it looks like, is this a bridge icon? I can't tell what that is. Or is that just road? Road, bridge, road. Because it'd be kind of cute if like a bridge appeared. I could make a land bridge. What if I made a new layer that's a land bridge? And it like, I don't actually know if it's programmatically possible to do that. I don't know how things work. They should take a scorpion across the river. Happy to support another parent. Thank you. I appreciate it for the sub and everything in general. I have these road tiles that I wasn't planning on using, but maybe just a road appears that allows someone to cross. Because look, I also have some like fence tiles I could use. I could make a land bridge magically appear. There's also some of these where I could do like this yellow is suddenly there. That could work. I don't really want to have to make new assets, which is why I'm trying to think about this. As a frog? Yeah, so anyway, letters will be on this side. And then once they get all the letters, that's when they can cross the river. And then they have to bring them to like the finish line. And then the finish line, I've got like some flags. Maybe I'll just have them go to like the flags at the end over here. I also have buttons. I could have them step on a button. And I also have a key. I have so many little icons where, like, I was pulling from a few different packs, and I was just like, I'll just throw them in here to see if it's helpful. And I think I now have decision paralysis. And so you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to add a really big tree. Haha! Look at that big tree. It requires 2 tiles. I'm going to do one more big tree over here. That's fun. There should be a big tree over here too. Nice. Scorpion and the frog. Oh, yeah. I knew this is what you were talking about. Yeah, frog carrying the scorpion. Yeah, no, I was thinking, because in that spelling jungle game that I mentioned, there's a hippo that carries you across the river. I did not get a hippo asset. I did get boats. I could have a boat. Look at that little boat. It's doing its thing. But also, why does it have a green background? It shouldn't have a green background. One thing at a time. I picked up soldering because I wanted something away from the screen. Nice. Yeah, and there's I'm learning to be a carpenter. Nice. There are a lot of, as long as you have other hobbies, having another dev tech side project allows you to leverage your expertise for your own interests. Yeah, for sure. And I do have other hobbies. You can probably see a little guitar right here and various other things. But if I'm being honest, if I'm not on a computer, I'm with my children. And that's not a bad thing. I like them. Shocking. But that is where a lot of my time goes. And so I'm okay with having digital hobbies. And a captive plant in the background. People talk about this captive plant. That's a different plant. I wondered if anybody would notice. I got a different fake plant behind me because the other fake plant is gone somewhere else in my house. I just got a different fake plant. Free the different plant. Oh no. It's pretty funny. I'm playing tennis. Oh, tennis is fun though. It's kind of cut off. That's mostly because I need to move things around. Everything on this side is a disaster right now. I need to clean my office so much. But who's got the time? I did get some new M&Ms from a friend of mine who works at Mars. They're peanut butter and jelly M&Ms. This is not an advertisement. She just gave me it and she was just like, "Tell me what you think." They're funky. They're good. But they're a little weird. Anyway, occasionally the stream blurs even though I have roaring internet. I hope it's not me. Yeah. Hey, you haven't caught my stream in ages. Welcome, Rowest. I didn't stream for a long time. This is my third time back since hiatus for children. Peanut butter jelly time. I've been trying to teach the peanut butter jelly time song to my toddler. I don't think she gets it. She's just kind of like, okay, then let's eat one. Fair. But she does not get that I'm teaching her history. Yeah, it might be Twitch. Let me look at my internet really quick. Because my internet, my internet's doing pretty well. I'm at almost 500 on fast.com. Oh, it just dropped to 400, but yeah. My kid requests it, and 55 is technically a counting song. Nice. Wait, 1080p is not even in the list? PB&J M&Ms, that's got to be basically all sugar and salt with flavoring. I mean, that's what all candy is, let's be real. I was thinking maybe I need to just like up some of my software that I use for streaming. Excuse me, streaming. Because I use, what is it called? Is it Streamlabs? Yeah, Streamlabs. But I haven't paid for it in a minute because I haven't needed to. Like it does this perfectly fine. But maybe if I paid for it, it would help with the resolution. Maybe. Because everything on here should be like my camera records in 4K and then I downscale it and stuff. But, eh. 1 second, I just got a message at work that I have to respond to. 1 second. Sorry, business face as I respond to everybody. Oh. It has been a week, y'all. Okay. Okay, fixed. There are things happening at work, but it's fine. I recently did the same hand-wired Ubiquiti access points on each floor and more speed than I'll likely ever use. That's amazing, though. The only fancy part of my home network. We have a bunch of Orbeez, because the previous owners of our house used Orbeez. I don't know if y'all know what it is, but they're the like mesh Wi-Fi network thing, and it does work pretty well. And especially because I have one like in my office directly, so I have a good. No, Gabor, no. Ban. But anyway, it works well for what I do at least. But I think that the internet is a little slower in the basement, but I'm not doing anything much down there. What keyboard am I using today? I think my commands work. Let me see. Nice, it does. I am using that exact keyboard that is listed. It is a Think 6.5 with novel keys, cream switches, and GMK Oblivion and GMK Vim right there. And this fun little artisan. Isn't that cute? Want to hear the clackies? This is just a glowy compass that does nothing. It's purely for aesthetic reasons. But I really like how this keyboard feels. It is a clackety. Earlier I was using a significantly louder keyboard that is next to me. One second, let me plug this back in. You will hear my computer. There we go. I was using this one, which is a high profile drop alt keyboard with these like Mackie keycaps. I actually forget what these keycaps are called. But they're the MT3 profile that are super high. And it is much louder. But I like these. I like this profile, the MT3 ones, because it feels like they're hugging my fingers. But it's way louder. And so I'm going to stop. But I like that one. And I was thinking, I have this split keyboard, the Iris, that I really like, but I'm so slow on split keyboards that I haven't used it in a minute. But this one has box navies. Yeah, box navies. Hear how loud this is. They're loud and clacky. I don't know if I can really convey just how loud they are. They're so crispy, but they're like really heavy clicky switches. And I laser cut the case for this one. There's so much soldering. I really like this board, but man, I'm so slow on split boards. I just don't use them as often. How often do I clean keyboards? Depends on how often I use them. I kind of just pay attention to how slimy they are, I guess. Slimy is a terrible word to use. I keep hand sanitizer at my desk, which I'm actually going to use right now. But I try to like keep them clean by just being clean. Like I always make sure like I didn't just eat and then rub my keyboard or something. So luckily I don't have to go too neat freaky on them and clean them all the time, but usually if I'm cleaning a board, like if the keycaps start getting shiny, I take all the caps off and I put them in a big bowl with just warm water and dish soap, stew, wipe through and use like an air compressor thing to get any dust out of the keyboard and then just put them back on. Oh yeah, I got this hand sanitizer at Costco. It looks way cooler than it is, like it's literally just a little spray hand sanitizer, but yeah, I got it at Costco. Once again, not sponsored, but Costco, if you're here, I'm a big fan. Have you seen the Apollo Reddit app did its own split keyboard from scratch? No, I didn't. Oh, the dev. Okay, cool. No, I didn't see that one. Mine gets so many crumbs in them because I eat while I work. Oh yeah, if I eat at my desk, I like nothing touches the keyboard. I'll like eat very carefully away from a keyboard. I'll move things away, and then I wash hands and everything. Purely because I don't like cleaning, and so if I stay generally clean as a human being, then I don't have to clean as much. I should do the Costco spiral ham again. Costco is so good. Hi, Joe. I just see Joe saying you're welcome in the chat. I should clarify. He got me the hand sanitizer from Costco. But I also have a bunch of like Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer too. How much is a Costco membership? Like $50? Yeah, no, I don't actually remember. And like if you do the top level one, you get like 2% back on all of your purchases. If I were like a single Pringle, I would not have a Costco membership because you simply do not need that much. Like it is a lot for one person. But as someone with a family, Costco diapers, formula, all of that, excellent. Hello, you're a GitHub girl. That is me. Yeah, I stream. I did a break from streaming for a while, but then came back and here I am. Doing well. I made part of a game earlier, or rather part of a map for part of a game a little bit earlier. Now I'm just gabbing before getting back to it. We recently got a Costco in Madrid. Wow. Oh yeah, the frozen salmon is good. The hot dog is also a fixed price here. Amazing. Costco memberships are international too. Wow. It's so nice. Yeah, no, Costco is great. We're moving to Madrid. Joe Ajusong is my husband. He's trying to convince me that we should move to Madrid. He talks a big game, and now he's convincing our friend Zach to join us. But we are not moving to Madrid for the foreseeable future, but it does look nice there. And if certain things in our country, which I'm going to be, if our country sucks, we might move. But right now we're staying. You can't shop at Costco without spending over $300. Yeah, I know. How's his Spanish going? Yeah, Joe's Spanish is doing better. You go to Costco for blueberries and spices and the bill is like 250 pounds. Yeah, no, it grows. Yeah, no, depending on the state of things in America, we will consider a move. But for right now, we are very happy where we are. But yeah, it's been a thing to consider. I think for the audience of this stream, you understand where I'm coming from when I talk about the state of things in this country. Yeah, Costco Korea is really cool too. They have a lot of like fancy brands and stuff that you can get. It's not like just off-brand Kirkland stuff. They have like fancy stuff. Okay, anyway, y'all keep talking about Costco. I'm going to try to figure out this map. Okay, now that I've done this, I am trying to figure out why is it doing the green in the background there? Am I misunderstanding something? Why is it doing green? Okay, I'm not going to question it. That's going to be an object for later. Terrain brush? What's a terrain brush? I don't know what I'm doing. Does anybody know what a wang brush is? Wang brush? I don't know what I'm doing. What is this map? This is for a game that I want to make, but I'm a noob, and so I'm just kind of trying it. Thoughts on leet code? I think it's good to be able to do them. I think it is not an accurate test or assessment of someone's skills, but companies are still asking them. I think if you want like an SDE2, if you want SDE3 role or under, you should be able to do all of the leet code easy problems. If you want like SDE2 through senior dev, you should be able to do all of the leet code medium problems. Once again, this is kind of a sweeping statement. I don't think it's an accurate assessment of your skills, but I think a lot of companies still ask us questions. Going to bed, see you later, bye. Put a Costco on the map, there you go, yeah. You know, I have the words, I have the letters. I could just do a Costco. No, I'm not going to do that. The joke isn't worth it. But why is it making the transparent color green? Like the background of these tiles is green even though it shouldn't be. I'll figure that out later. One thing at a time. Okay. Well, that's kind of nice. It has like a select same tile thing. Cute. So like this selects all the trees. That's nice. Okay, that's not what I want, but it's nice. I'm just kind of learning what all of these things are. If the situation in the USA is a key factor, you can start learning Spanish. Hablo español ahora, entonces podemos ir a Madrid si necesitamos, pero tenemos tiempo. Vamos a ver. I will not be speaking more Spanish right now because I'm going to focus on this. And Spanish is a second language for me, and so it requires a little too much brain power right now. You're struggling to find ideas for projects. Ole. Yeah. If you want ideas, I like that there's a subreddit called Somebody Make This, and it's just people with project ideas being like, I don't want to make this, will somebody make this, please? That's a nice place to start. Oh, thanks for liking my Spanish. I am not fluent. I am somewhat conversational. I understand more than I can speak. My grandparents spoke Spanish on my mom's side, but they never taught my mom or her sisters, and so my mom and her sisters don't speak, and so I learned in school, and then I studied in Spain. But the Spanish like to claim me, and I accept. Thank you for accepting me, Samar. I would like to be accepted, so I appreciate it mucho. But yeah, we're trying to teach our kiddos Spanish too, Spanish and Korean. My husband's Korean, and so it's very cute to hear my toddler mix up English and Spanish and Korean. It's very hard for any caretakers that aren't me or my husband to speak, but it's so cute because she'll be just like, Mommy, quiero más uyu, porfis, please. And then uyu is Korean for milk, and then she'll say like porfis and please. Like porfis is like a cutesy way of saying please in Spanish. It's adorable. But once again, if like Joe's parents are watching her, then they're just like, okay, we got the Korean part, but what is this? And they're trying to like bring out Google Translate. And she also like slurs it because she's a toddler, but it's so cute. It's adorable. Okay. What am I doing? Okay, I want to figure out so many things, but I think I need to add an enemy layer. So this object layer, I'm going to call it an enemy layer. And I think I can... What am I doing? I think I can add different views for... Okay, object types, editors, views, and toolbars. Oh yes, I think I need this. Aha! Yeah, this! Where was this before? Oh no, why is it here? Where did my tiles go? Oh no, what am I doing? Oh no. I don't know what I'm doing. Where did my tile sets go? Oh, it's here. Okay. Can I like put these up and down? I can. Watch out, world. I know how to move around things. Okay. Layers. Got it. Amazing. Okay. So now I have an object layer. And with the objects, I think I have to add objects that, so there I want like the letter objects, and then I also want the enemy objects, and the enemy objects that will cause certain things to happen, and then the letter objects are like in the inventory. Propaganda Panda, hello, welcome back to the sub. I appreciate it. Baby will struggle a bit at the beginning, but later in life she'll be overpowered on so many languages. I hope so. We'll see. Solve a problem, and if you solve the first one, then try a more complex one. Do you really need a project to be complex to put on your resume? Not necessarily, no. Yeah, this time last year we were at Microsoft Ignite. Time flies. I have a whole other human in my house now. Okay. I am going to add the letters. So the first level I wanted to make super easy, where it's just 2 letters and it was just going to be AI. So someone gets A and then I, and then they bring it to the goal. So I need to add the object to the layer. How I do that, I will figure out. I wonder, okay. I remember I did this. Oh, insert tile. Aha. Okay. So I'm going to put the A over here. This is like cheating for anybody who plays this future game, but that's okay. And then I'm going to put the I over here. Well, I don't want it to be... It's fine. This is just level 1. Okay. Great. I have placed them. Now what? I'm gonna select the object. Selecting this object. Yeah. Okay. I want this to be... Oh wait, no, I can do the exact placement. I want it to be like right in the middle of the tile there. Okay, it's doing it on like a slight offset, so fixing that. I know that the UI is very small for y'all to see. If you have no projects and then get 2 to 3 on there, no matter how small, list them in order of importance to you. Then you create a new project compared to the ones you have on there, swap it out, rinse and repeat. Yes, agree. If you can have projects on your resume, please do. It works really well. And also, as you're like trying to figure out where am I gonna work, how will I find a job, etc., look at open source projects. We're talking about game dev. A good example is Phaser. Another good example is Godot. The Godot engine. I talked to the founders once, a long time ago. They hire from their maintainers, like all the time, or anybody who contributes, not their maintainers, their contributors. And so like, even if it's just like you make issues on occasion, you jump into a chat, you do something, before they look at people who have applied for jobs, they look to see, is there anyone in their community that might be looking for a job? They're really, really great about that. And so you can go to their GitHub. There. Yeah. So I should have known that this is their repo. I'm just gonna paste it in here so you know. It's neat. They have so many stars. They have so many issues. Look at this. 5,000 plus issues. There's a lot of them, and you might need to really understand how certain things work, but what's great is you could do good first issue. Good first issue is if you go to a repo, chances are they have this label. These are all good first issues. The first time you've gone this, whoa, look at that. It says you're breathtaking. But it's also issue number 100,000. That is wild. That's fun. This is cute. But also, is this an actual issue? Oh, it's just people being nice. That's nice. Okay, I'm not gonna touch it. But anyway, under the good first issues, stuff to do. It's great. Why doesn't everyone just go in and click fix with Copilot? A lot of people are, but that depends on people's accounts and stuff, where a lot of the work that we do at GitHub now is because we are trying to make it easy for maintainers to allow more people to contribute without spam. Because, and Gabor says because Copilot sucks. Copilot's pretty good, but it's also doing its best with very little context, and sometimes it has like context of a full repo. You can give it as much context as you want, but when you see like an issue like this, chances are, because it's been opened since March, you can't just say Copilot go fix it. It might need a little bit more context than that, and humans are honestly just better at looking for context than LLMs. And so just saying go works on really, really low hanging fruit PRs for really small projects, but for really, really massive projects, that's just not the way to do it. It's a human that might have used AI with some of it, but just telling Copilot, hey, go fix it, that is not, it's not there yet. There might be a future where it is there, and once again, there have been times on my own projects where I've done that, but every single time it does, I have to end up going and fixing and changing things anyway. It's not it's not, there's no such thing as a silver bullet. How do you find GitHub repos of good projects to contribute to? There is a thing called 24 pull requests that I recommend, and it's usually like an Advent thing. Give back to open source for the holidays, but you don't have to wait for the holidays to do that, although the holidays start next week for Thanksgiving and stuff. But anyway, it features a bunch of different projects and suggested projects and stuff. And so if you look at the projects, you can actually say, oh, I want a Python project, or there's all these different ones, HTML, Go, PowerShell, yada, yada, yada. You can filter based on language. And you can also look for good first issue or for help wanted issues and stuff and see what people are looking for. It's great. There's a lot of options on there. You can also do all languages. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so highly recommend it. 24pullrequests.com. I think it's actually called 24 PRs, but especially based on the ul equest being in brackets. I hear my baby giggling. He just woke up from a nap. So cute. But yeah, and so if I wanted to see a JavaScript good first issue, help wanted, now I can see all of these different ones where I've used some of these projects before. Let's look at Hexo. I've never used Hexo, but I've heard good things. They have some good first issues. Let's check it out. And it looks like there's some things that are particularly old. Whoa, editor config from 9 years ago, but other things from 3 weeks ago. So it is being maintained. And so we can go into the issues and then look at the labels, see a good first issue. Blammo. Oh, there's none in there. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, but I also saw there was help wanted. Excuse me. Let's see. Let me get rid of the... Haha. Support custom meta tags. Oh, I like that. I've already read the docs and I've already searched existing issues. That's good for maintainers. Have you learned to speak Korean? Is it hard? It is incredibly hard. I'm actually somewhat decent at vocabulary and I can read it like phonetically. But the grammar is so hard. Like they fully rearrange words compared to like Latin-based and Germanic-based languages. It is so challenging. But if my husband is like talking with his family in Korean, I know just enough words that I understand what they're talking about a little bit. If you asked me to say a sentence, I can say hello, my name is Cassidy. But there's very little that I can do and speak. But I know words. And I gotta say, if you have a baby learning a foreign language, that is very great for you learning a language because they have such limited vocabulary and repeat everything. So even though I've taken a Korean class before, which by the way, the Korean consulate in your various countries and cities, they have free Korean classes, or for like very low fees. And so I was able to take a free Korean class where I had to pay like an initial registration fee, but the entire course was free. And it was great where it wasn't like rigorous, but it was nice to figure out what certain letters and characters were and how certain things work. But yeah, like I now know how to introduce myself better, yes, because I learned in the course, but because my toddler repeats it constantly. I always tell people to treat themselves with the same kindness they treat a baby when learning a foreign language. Yeah, you just gotta practice. So true. My daughter had to learn Chinese to speak with her mom's side of the family. Yeah, you pick up a lot. How's a multicultural relationship? Are there things you struggle with? Yeah, I mean, so my husband and I have been together for 10 years this year, and married for 8. And there are challenges, but like not as much as you'd think. I guess like he immigrated here from Korea, but he's considers himself like very Korean American, and so I think initially there were some basic things where like we just both didn't know about certain things, where he was just like, whoa, you take off your shoes in the house? I thought white people didn't do that. And I was like, but then your house gets dirty. Like it's some things that he just didn't know, and then there's some things that I didn't know too, where like your elders should eat first before you start eating. Like if everybody's served pizza, you don't eat until the people older than you have started eating pizza. Stuff like that. Like there's things where just like the cultural stuff is they're small. Luckily, all of our really big conflicts have been like not relationship breaking. It's more just understanding the nuances of little things. In a multilingual environment, does the kid fluently learn all languages spoken? Ideally, I think, and a friend, or I shouldn't say a friend, my cousin who he actually like studies languages and is a teacher for speech language and a therapist for that. He was saying like it is very natural for a baby to like choose the one that they hear the most and like hone in on that and not want to speak the others, and you just have to keep doing it. Where like right now, because Joe and I really do primarily speak English to each other because I don't know that much Korean, he doesn't know that much Spanish. Our daughter is learning English at light speed, especially right now at 2.5, where like it's new words every day constantly. But we have to continue to bring up the other languages as much as possible. Yeah, I thought that's very, very old. The language, or culture things. I don't know what you're saying. Context. It's fine. Anyway, contribute to open source, y'all. I forget how I got onto this train. Okay, I need to add objects and I need to be able to label the objects. So I've added these letters. I'm gonna make sure that that is right in the tile with no floating point numbers. And then I want to label it. Okay. I'm going to call that letter A. Aha, okay, nice. So that worked. Letter I. And then I need, so I'm assuming I'm going to have to create types, and the types will be either enemy or like a collision point or a letter. And then with that, I can then say like, okay, all letters, when you collide with it, you get it in your inventory. All enemies, maybe it'll like reduce health or something like that. Have I watered that plant yet? No, it's a new plant. Haha. And it's also fake. See you later, Propaganda Panda. Talk to you later. A keyboard builder and developer. That's me, yeah. Thanks for thinking I'm eloquent. I do like to say words. Okay, so this is going to be the letter layer. I'm just going to leave it at that. Letter layer. For those who have used tiled before, if any of you are in here who have used tiled before, if you have multiple levels in a game, do you put it all in the same file, or do you have a different map and everything per level? Let me know. Whenever I try to speak, I stutter with ums and other filler words. Oh, that's something that I've been practicing a lot with the filler words. I used to say like a lot more, and I used to say so constantly. Where I actually, there was one point where my manager at a company years ago, like 5 years ago, got speech coaches for everybody on our team and was just like, I just want everybody to do it was like 2 or 3 sessions, very few sessions, but just some basic sessions where we would give talks or mini speeches or whatever for the speech coach, and she would say like, okay, this is what you need to improve. And for me, I knew it was my use of filler words, particularly so, and repeating the word and as I use and the ums and the uhs. And luckily she said that my use of filler words was not too distracting, but it was something that I needed to improve. That, and also how I use my hands, because sometimes the way I use my hands can be distracting, and so I have improved that a little bit as well. I say you know a lot. Oh yeah. I think I say, it also depends on the context. I think with some friends I use different filler words, and with different contexts I use different filler words. When I'm speaking at my desk, like on a stream or in a meeting or something, my cadence is different. I wish I had more advice about layers. I know. Yeah, this is all new to me, so I'm truly just like trying, which is fine. I'm willing to try. I just have to I just have to figure this out. So I need to have an enemy layer. I'm going to make a new layer, and this object layer will be called enemy layer. And if someone runs into an enemy, they get smashed. Okay. I'm gonna call that ground, and then I'm gonna call these obstacles. Okay. Okay, and so the enemy layer is where I'm going to start putting enemies, and the enemies I have are vehicles. Oh no, wait, there's some bombs. I'm gonna put a bomb. Okay, let's see, is this place an object? Okay, I'm gonna put a little bomb there. Let's see, 528 and 128. Haha, bomb. I'm going to do more of those. 192 and 288. I think 3 bombs is enough, right? Wow, I didn't have to do any of the floating point fixes on that one. That was perfect. Yes, okay. Cool. So now each of these objects are bombs. It is type bomb. I don't think I have to. Can they have the same names? I don't actually know. I'm really just trying to make my life easier when I start touching code, because I remember I really struggled working with the map when I made my first game, but once again that was long ago enough that I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, and so I'm just going to keep it basic for now, where I'm not going to have any moving enemies for level 1. I will have the character plopped in there. Oh, and I need to figure out the character origin point and go from there. And then like the finish line and stuff. My son would love to have a keyboard that sounded like yours does. His sounds decent, but he wants more thock. He's bad about saving up money, though, to buy different switches. He currently has Xylent Zelios V2s. I love Xylents, though. I use Xylents a lot on... It's hard to point out. There's a keyboard back there. That keyboard that I'm pointing at way down here, that has Xylents, and I love that keyboard. I love Xylents. These ones are Novel Keys Creams. Similar to those are on... Where is it? I have a keyboard. Oh, over here. 1 second. Oh no, I'm dropping stuff. I dropped a bunch of things. But this keyboard, this one has Gatoron inks. And I like this one. The creams feel a little more round. And these ones are very, very smooth up and down. Gatoron. I think these are Gatoron King inks. I think so. They're either Gatoron inks or the Novel Keys inks. The Gatoron King inks, those are pre-lubed, and then the Novel Keys ones I lubed. And I don't remember which ones I put on this one. But I think that these ones are cheaper than the Novel Keys creams. And so as you're looking at things, either the inks or the creams are pretty good. This back here. Okay. You just got some inks. Nice. I'd love one of those with Touch ID. There's a person in my Discord channel that made a Touch ID thing and attached it to their keyboard, where they were able to like build a whole thing, and there's something you can do to add a Touch ID piece of hardware to a mechanical keyboard. I wish I could tell you more. I did not build it myself, but they did it and were successful, and it looked cool. So for what it's worth, you can. Yeah, it was really, really cool to see. Do you know about any resources for public speaking and speech that are free? Let me think. I really hate to say it, practice has been the biggest thing for me. Just practicing, whether it's on a live stream or giving talks or talking with friends. Let me think. If you can access a Toastmasters club, that's really, really helpful. They tend to have them in community spaces, or sometimes your company might have one, like my company has one. And Toastmasters is really, really great for being able to practice speaking about whatever you want, but in like an environment where people will give you feedback right away. Where, for example, at my Toastmasters one, I did it yesterday. They were like, your cadence was good, your timing was good. You do repeat the word "and" a lot. And I was like, I do. And they said, so instead of saying and, or something like before actually making a statement, just take a breath. So depending on where you are in the world, who you work for, or as I repeat the word or what resources you have access to, Toastmasters is great. I know that they have programs at libraries and stuff too. My biggest tip for that is to take an acting class or join a comedy club. Yes, I fully believe that. Comedy especially, I think you learn to be comfortable because you're so uncomfortable. Like you are really forced to let yourself look like a fool. And I think that's a really good thing. Even just, I took a comedy writing class that was really interesting. And I think that helped improve a lot of my communication overall, not because I was trying to be hilarious, but understanding like why things are funny, what makes people laugh, what makes people feel comfortable. I think that helped me not only write better, but speak better too, because of how I approach things based on what I learned in that class. It was really nice. It was the most uncomfortable and scary thing I ever did, and we laughed the entire time. Yeah, exactly. And I think when you have that level of practice, it's really nice to not be afraid of being made fun of or of messing up. Like when I was first initially streaming, for example, I've been streaming now, and I did a break, once again, had babies, but I started first streaming in 2018-ish. I was so nervous. And I was just like, okay, here we go. And like my camera was not as good, my mic was not as good, but I was just kind of going for it. And you really get practiced. Gabor, thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. Anyway, practice does make perfect. I do feel quite strongly about that. Speaking of work, let me make sure. I might have to work. 1 second. Let me just, not to spoil the fun. I missed a meeting. That's okay. That's not the end of the world. That was not an important meeting. I should work. Dang. Yeah, I want to keep streaming, but I gotta go do things. But oh no, tired baby, you just got here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I gotta start bouncing. But I was also thinking about adding another stream day here. If I were to stream more than just on Thursdays and at this time, are there other times that or days that work better for y'all? Noodle on it. Birthday stream won't be for a minute, but it is coming up. I was thinking maybe like a Tuesday morning or something. That one would be less frequent. Like I think I can consistently do this time on Thursdays, but I was thinking, yeah, like a Tuesday morning or something, so it's easier for our European friends. We'll see. Something I'm noodling on. Anyway, I am going to raid someone. Let's see, raid. And until then, happy Thursday, y'all. Have a great weekend. I am Nika. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm not streaming next week because it's Thanksgiving, but I will be back the Thursday after. See you later. Bye.